Before this video starts, I just want to say massive thank you for all the support that I got from the last week. I think we had like 30 something views on my hiking video, which is insane. I never imagined it would get that far. Also gained some subscribers, and I just want to set a goal. I want to set a goal of 50 subscribers. So if you can just share the video around, that would be amazing. Let's see if you can get to 50 subscribers. It would, mean a lot to me. And yeah, anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my garage. Where are we going today? Today is a first. Today we are going to visit Mysticon, which is a board game festival, or so it claims to be. It's the first time they ever do this festival, and I can guarantee I'm a massive fan of board games. I mean, I am the geek on wheels, of course. We're gonna drive there, we're gonna check it out, see what's happening. I don't think it's gonna be too big, I don't think it's gonna be too long a day. Also, the weather has been absolutely dreadful this morning. As you can see, it has just started raining again, and it's been like this the entire morning, on and off rain, showers. So I'm gonna crawl in my rain gear. Apparently, the parking place is also a field, an open field, so it's going to be muddy as well. So my bike is probably not going to be very clean after this, but hey, it happens. The weather should clear out this afternoon. I just hope it does. Anyway, let's get on the road. So we've arrived at Mysticon. My GPS first sent me somewhere completely random, and then I checked the website, and apparently there has been a name change of streets, so my GPS was extremely confused. It sent me to like another street, correct village, but I still was like 8 kilometers away. I basically drove the wrong way. But anyway, we've arrived. I'll see you inside. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my apartment. Yes, I know normally you would have probably expected some footage from Mysticon, but also I'm sorry for the very messy hair, but I just got out of a shower. Anyway, as I was saying, you probably expected some footage of Mysticon, but to be honest, it wasn't that great of a convention. Now, before I go any further and give my reasons, I just want to say that it's a rough diamond, The concept is there, the ideas are there. They're very good ideas, they're very good concepts, but it still needs a lot of work. At the convention itself, I took like one picture, and that picture is basically 95% of the convention. The only thing you're not seeing there is like a stage where some people could present their books and stuff, and the camping ground, but that's really it. Now, what do I mean with rough edges? First of all, there wasn't really a lot of things to do. When it comes to a guy like me who's very introverted, there were a lot of board games being played, but it was random people, and I'm not really too comfortable just joining those people. I would much rather have some friends with me there to play some board games, but then again, I can also just do that at home. There was a stand where you could rent some board games, so there was that, but it wasn't too big of a stand, and they had some things, but besides that, there were about 20 vendors, I think, something like that, and they're just your typical vendors you can find at any geeky convention. You had your board game stand, you had your guys playing D&D, you had your D&D accessory stand, you had your mini printing stand. There was also a dating stand, which a friend of mine ran for the entire day, but from what I heard, the way they set that up, that wasn't also too good. My main issue with the event was the way food was handled. There was one food stand organized by themselves, and while the food was okay, I had to wait an hour for a spaghetti. And not a lot of you might know this, but I worked in a big kitchen myself for over a year. Just over a year, and then I also did like side stuff, one-off things, helping in kitchens. And while I was watching them operate, a big part of me was just like, oh Jesus Christ, I don't think anyone knows what they're doing in here, especially the ones taking orders, because my God, I'm not gonna get into all the details because I would be here tomorrow still explaining. But when I finally got my food after an hour, I met up with another friend of mine who I knew was going to help in the kitchen later that day, and I decided, to give them some tips. This is how I would improve the overall process of the kitchen to make things go much smoother. And from what I've heard, they actually listened, changed things where possible, and apparently it was just way better system from then on, which, I'm very happy to hear, because once again, I really want these guys who organize this event to make something special, because again, it's a cool concept. It just needs a lot more work, I feel. The location also was not really great. It was in a field, but not somewhere near a big city. It was in the middle of nowhere. The village itself next to it wasn't that big, so, it was probably just to cut costs that they were in, a random ass field in the middle of nowhere. But still, I would maybe consider looking for a better location next time, closer to a big city such as Ghent. I think most of the people who visited came from there. And there was also a massive plague of wasps. I kid you not, there was like a little stand of vendors who put out like a little petri dish with candy on it. And at one point, I think there were like 20 to 30 wasps just on that thing. Apparently there were also a lot of people being stung by the wasps and a lot of allergic reactions, so yeah, maybe just look for another field. Another big issue I had with the event was the price. I paid 14.5 euros. For like 5 euros more, I can go to Facts, which is 100 times bigger and basically the same kind of vendors there. And it's also inside. It's a much nicer location. It is a very expensive location where they go. Of course, they've also been doing it for much longer, but it's something to consider. And then also, it was a very expensive event, I found. You could also get, sodas and stuff, but it was from this very cheap, locally brewed brand called Roman, which, if you live in Flanders, you will probably have encountered these drinks. They have their colas, they have their lemonades, but they charge like 3 euros for them, while probably you can buy one bottle for like 10 cents in a shop. So it's like 2.90 euros markup is insane. When I pay 3 euros for a Coke, I'm expecting to get an actual Coke, Also, the spaghetti was 12 euros. And again, I think they could have easily taken 2 euros off that, because not really worth 12 euros in my opinion. Especially since when I asked him like, yo, I've been waiting for my spaghetti for an hour. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't just standing there for an hour. The person before me also stood there for an hour. So apparently they also forgot me. So when I eventually told them like, I'm waiting for an hour, they made my spaghetti in like 2 minutes. I saw them do it. So it's like, I just paid 12 euros for a 2-minute spaghetti, which is just stupid. So that's probably even my main issue, just the price from the event. I paid way too much to be there, in my opinion. But anyway, again, it's a cool concept. I want them to do well. I hope that they get the kinks out. Next year, I'm probably not gonna go, but maybe the year after, when they had some time to work on it. Yeah, we'll see if they continue doing. I hope so. I really like new things happening all around. But yeah. Anyway, that's what I had to say. I hope you still enjoyed this video, and that's basically once again it. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.